Hey, one of your best clients calls you to sell their rental properties, but they want to sell the home with a renter in the house.
It's a role play between you both.
Andy, come to me and ask me to do this.
Listen, Rooney, if you want my business, this is what you're going to do.
What would you like me to do? Because ultimately, Andy, you are the boss. You make the decisions. I give you the information that leads you in that direction, hopefully to get you the most amount of money that you can.
Well, that sounds wonderful, Chris. Thank
Okay.
you. I just don't want to have to deal with my tenant, and they have a 18-year lease, and so I don't want to get them out of there.
Okay, so you'd like to sell it with this 18-year lease in place.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to suggest a couple things, Andy. Number one, we can certainly market it like that if you want. The odds of us getting we'll probably get a long-term investor, but those long-term investors also know that there's probably not a lot of people that are willing to take an 18-year lease, but maybe there is some, and they're going to want it for a little less money. So we're going to eliminate a lot of our buyers. Maybe I could suggest a couple other things that might be able to help. Instead of saying you're stuck with an 18-year lease, why don't we turn it around and say, hey, there's a possibility that we could get a lease signed for 18 years for you. Make it look like an advantage. And then we go to your tenant and say, you know what? I know you have an 18-year lease in place, but what if we offered you $5,000, $10,000 if we sold it and you moved out? And then we could probably extend some possession time. When would it work for you? Maybe I could help you with deposit on the next house as well and get you into a new rental. I mean, would you be open to that? I'm just trying to find ways in which to get you the most money, because if we're stuck in one narrow little thing, it's not going to be great.
I think I'm ready to sign stuff. No, I think, Chris, I think the other thing to consider is when you do have a rental, because I've dealt with this too, where the tenant has be more realistic. They have they're through the end of June or something like that, right? So, but they want to sell now because they want the money now to buy another property. And so that's a little easier to get signed, but cooperation from a renter is another thing. Now, those renters will literally be eating dinner and they don't care. Fine, let people come through. As long as I got 24-hour notice, that's all the lease says we have to have. And they let people walk through. The renter will also make sure to tell all those people what they don't like about the house or what they don't like about the neighbors or what they, in theory, don't want you to buy the place because they want to continue renting there. A lot of times what I will say is, hey, I'll give you $50 or $100 to go out to dinner every time I have a showing or whatever. Go get coffee. So let's say you have 10 showings, so you spend $1,000 getting that person out of that house, and then you sell it for $15,000 more because of it. Well worth the money. Those tenants sometimes can be your worst anchor when you're trying to move forward on a project.
And you can really incentivize them too and give them a bonus if the house sells. If you make it look good and I get this amount of money, I'll give you $5,000. I mean, it's well, like you said, well worth it.
Get them on your team for sure.
Because they can destroy it. They can destroy the sale. All right. So I think I'm the first-time home buyer. First-time home buyer wins on multiple offers and gets an inspection with it. The parents come to the inspection and want to ask for many things. How do you handle? So I'm the first-time home buyer. You obviously, Andy got me the deal, and he actually got me an inspection to go with it. So we're doing the inspection. And Andy, I know we got this place, but my mom and dad were with, and they're just thinking that the furnace is not that. I know it's only 8 years old. They don't think it's going to last another 20, and that'll cost me some money in 20 years to be able to replace the furnace. And I know that the roof has got a couple shingles that are missing. I'd like to ask for a new furnace and get a roof.
Well, Chris, we both know that your parents are idiots. And why are you going to start listening to your parents now? You didn't listen to your parents when you got that tattoo. You didn't listen to your parents when you bought that expensive car. So what I'll do with somebody like that is I'll say, listen, why don't we take those things into consideration? Why don't you let me run a quick